All right, so today we're going deep, really deep beneath the surface, literally.
Deeper than we've ever gone before, I'd say, at least on this show. We're talking
Yeah.
about what's possibly hidden under the Giza Plateau.
Yeah, you sent over this press conference transcript and the summary about some pretty wild findings. We've got to unpack this for our listeners.
Definitely. So this all stems from Project Kiefin, which is led by, well, it's a team effort, really. Professor Corrado Malanga, engineer Filippo Biondi, and Dr. Armando Mei. They've combined like archaeology with hard science and some seriously cutting-edge imaging tech. It's pretty impressive stuff.
So the key to all this is SAR, right? Synthetic aperture radar. I mean, I know it's used for like satellite imaging and stuff, but they're using it kind of differently here.
Exactly. Biondi, the engineer, he's figured out how to change the photonic signals from the radar into sound, phonic signals. And that's the breakthrough because sound, unlike electromagnetic waves, can travel through really dense stuff like the granite under Giza.
Yeah.
So they're basically using sound to see underground.
Okay, so they're using sound to map what's down there. So what did they pick up initially? What made them think there was something unusual hidden beneath the surface?
Well, the first SAR scans showed these spots, anomalies, things that just didn't look like normal geological formations.
And that's where the Doppler tomography comes in, right? To get a clearer picture.
Right, yeah. Doppler tomography let them look at these anomalies from all these different angles. It's like, imagine taking a bunch of sound snapshots and then combining them to build a 3D model.
A 3D sound image. So what did they actually find under the Pyramid of Khafre?
Okay, so under Khafre, they found these structures. They're calling them ZEPs. Professor Malanga thinks they're similar to some shapes they found in another pyramid study, maybe part of some kind of tech or building technique they used. They found 5 of these ZEPs, 2 in front, 2 at the back, and 1 right in the middle.
Mm. 5 zeps. That's already pretty interesting. But wait, there's more, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more. Below these ZEPs, they found 8, count them, 8 vertical shafts going straight down. And here's the kicker. These shafts are surrounded by this helix structure, like a spiral staircase wrapping around them.
A spiral staircase hundreds of feet underground. That doesn't sound like anything we've seen in typical Egyptian architecture.
Nope, not at all. And it gets weirder. They also found signs of chambers or rooms down there, one big one off to the right and back and a smaller one to the left and further in. And all of this starts pretty deep, way below the base of the pyramid.
So we've got strange structures, deep shafts, maybe even rooms, but you mentioned even bigger discoveries further down.
Yeah, so it's 648 meters down. That's over 2,000 feet. They found 2 massive, like, box-shaped structures. They estimate each one's about 80 meters on each side.
80 meters, that's huge. And they're saying these aren't just natural rock formations.
Right, exactly. They're adamant about that.
Yeah.
They use computers and artificial intelligence to analyze the data. The AI kept flagging these perfect right angles, these really distinct shapes that just don't happen naturally.
So how do these deep boxes connect to those vertical shafts we talked about earlier?
Well, it looks like 4 of those shafts, the ones coming down from under the pyramid, they seem to connect directly to these box structures. Almost like they're linked somehow.
Okay, we've got connected structures going deep, deep underground, and it sounds like it goes even deeper than that.
It does. The data shows stuff going down to about 1,200 meters. They're talking about a potential, like a whole city down there, a complex network of structures. They picked up all these luminous vibrating signals in the data.
Wow, 1,200 meters, that's almost 4,000 feet underground, and they're confident about this data.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They got the same results from 2 different satellites, Capella Space and Umbra Space. And they even said the data is publicly available. Anyone can check it.
Okay, so let's talk about what this means for our understanding of ancient Egypt, because this seems to turn everything we thought we knew on its head.
Right. I mean, this just blows the conventional timeline out of the water. These structures are massive, complex, and they go insanely deep.
Yeah.
There's just no way the ancient Egyptians, at least as we understand them, could have built this with the tech they supposedly had.
Yeah, they mentioned no wheel, no writing, basic stone tools. It doesn't add up.
Nope. And they brought up another point. 12,000 years ago, the water levels were much lower. So if these structures are that old, well, it really complicates things.
So what are some of their theories about all of this? They mentioned drawing on some less conventional sources, right?
Yeah, Professor Malanga talked about the Halls of Amenti, which is this concept from Egyptian mythology. He thinks it might be connected to these deep structures. His idea is that myths might actually preserve some real knowledge about the past, even if it's fragmented or symbolic.
And what about those vertical shafts? They had some ideas about those beyond just structural support.
Right. Dr. Mei, he suggested that those shafts, they're also found under the Great Pyramid, by the way, could have been part of some kind of tech we just don't understand anymore. Maybe an energy system or part of some ancient machine.
And they even talked about the pyramids being used as healing devices, right? Using infrasound?
Yeah, that was Malanga again. He was saying the internal structure of the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid, could have been designed to create these low-frequency sounds using wind currents. And he tied that in with myths about sound healing and something called phonon physics, which is all about vibrations and how they move through matter.
They also spent some time on the math, the ratios in the pyramids construction, phi, pi, all that.
Yeah, that's a big point for them. The pyramids, especially Khafre and Khufu, they're built with incredible precision using these advanced mathematical concepts. It doesn't fit with what we think the ancient Egyptians knew at the time.
And there was that bit about the internal structures looking like reaction chambers. That was pretty intriguing.
Yeah, they just kind of threw that out there. Malanga thinks some of the features inside the pyramids might be parts of some bigger machines, suggesting the pyramids weren't just for, burials or religious stuff.
So what about the argument that these could be natural formations? I mean, we are talking about some pretty incredible depths here.
Oh, they address that head on. Their main argument is the geometry.
Yeah.
Those box structures, they have perfect right angles, and that just doesn't happen in natural formations, especially not on that scale.
And they use computers to back that up, right?
Oh, yeah. Biondi was very clear about that. The computers, the AI, they all confirm those right angles. It's not just people see what they want to see.
And the varying luminosity in those vertical shafts, that was another point against them being natural.
Exactly. Dr. Mei explained that the way the light, the signal fluctuates in those shafts, it shows they're hollow, like tubes, not natural cracks or caves.
So before we wrap up, they also talked about how this SAR tech could be used for other things, right? Not just archaeology.
Oh, yeah, tons of applications. Finding water sources, minerals, oil even. And surveillance, monitoring volcanoes, all sorts of stuff. Being able to see underground like this, it's a game changer.
Okay, last question. How do they think mainstream Egyptologists are going to react to all of this?
Well, Malanga was pretty realistic about it. He said people, even scientists, get attached to their ideas, and it can be hard to admit you might be wrong. But he also said that real science is about learning from mistakes and being open to new evidence, even if it shakes things up.
So as we dive back up to the surface, what's the key takeaway from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we have solid evidence gathered with this incredible new technology that there's something massive and complex hidden deep beneath Giza. And it just doesn't fit with what we thought we knew about history.
And it's just the beginning, right? They said this is just the first step. There's so much more to explore.
Exactly. This raises all sorts of questions about the real timeline of civilization, about ancient technology, maybe even about who we are and where we come from.
So to our listeners, I leave you with this. What if everything we thought we knew about the past is wrong? What if there's a whole hidden history waiting to be discovered? This is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a big one, and it changes everything.